Ladies and gentlemen, have those cameras rolling as the roulettes come in. They're about 10 seconds away for the wedge, quarter clover and fly past. The formation you can see them in is the wedge formation, and each formation is given a name from the shape it resembles. And during the display, all the pilots are doing nothing but looking straight at roulette leader, squadron leader Steve Baker, and lining up visual cues to make sure they're in perfect station maintenance. So roulette leaders just told the team smoke on as they run in for the oblique, loop and fly past.
Pulling up.
Steep turn you're seeing today, ladies and gentlemen. The roulettes are pulling around about 4G or 4 times the force of gravity. So with all their flying equipment, G-suit, helmet, mask, they're weighing in around about 400 kilograms in the cockpit. So they're working very hard, not only to maintain perfect position in the formation, but using a technique we call pressure breathing to make sure that they don't black out in the cockpit. So all that blood's draining away from their head and down into their feet. And they've got to work against that to make sure everything's done safely. So as Steve Baker takes the team out to the right, a little bit of information about the aircraft you're seeing today. As you've seen before, it's the Pilatus PC-9, and it's the advanced trainer used here at number 2 Flying Training School. We also use these aircraft to train pilots how to be instructors over at the Central Flying School, located at RAAF Base Sale. So these pilots, the roulettes you're seeing here, will teach pilots how to be instructors. They'll then come here to RAAF Base Pearce and teach students on pilot's course. Have your cameras ready. Roulette leaders calling the team in for the leaders benefit fly past. The leaders benefit fly past is a tribute to our very first roulette leader, squadron leader Phil Dunn. He first led the team all the way back in 1970. So there's a very long distinguished history of formation aerobatic display flying in the Australian Air Force. Going back before the roulettes to the Telstars, who flew the Vampire jet aircraft from 1963 to 1970, and then before that was the Red Sails. So R1's just called the team from the leaders benefit into the 6-pack formation. And again, roulettes 2 and 3 and 5 and 6 have a very difficult position to maintain in the formation. So they're on the far extremities of the formation, looking directly over their shoulder at roulettes 1 and 4. And they'll be shortly positioning for the 6-pack loop. And again, they'll be pulling about 4 to 5 times the force of gravity, so they're looking directly over their shoulder and pulling all that G, so there's a tremendous strain on the pilot's neck. So there's a lot of training that prepares the pilots for that kind of G-force.
Forward. Pulling up.
So there they go in the 6-pack loop, and watch at the top of the formation as they go from the 6-pack to twin formation and position for the twin brake. You saw the F-18 Hornets do their bomb burst. Now you can see how the professionals do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the roulette break.
Roulettes for break. Break. Go.
Now if you look out to your left and right, ladies and gentlemen, roulettes 5 and 6, Squadron Leader Matt Plenty and Flight Attendant Bernie Gleason are pulling up for the half lazy 8 before running in for the roulette wheel. They'll be running in with a closure rate of close to 1,000 kilometres per hour. And when they run in, they remind you there is no illusion to the manoeuvres you're seeing today. These aircraft are going to be passing around about 20 metres apart from each other. So roulettes 5 and 6 are now working hard to spot each other. They'll coordinate which way each pilot's going to go before starting the roulette wheel, which is also the manoeuvre that gave the roulettes their name. So as 5 and 6 depart the area, roulettes 1 through 4 turn on the smoke for the T formation for the T to box loop. So as I said before, the roulettes are based at the Central Flying School located at RAAF Base East Sale. So we're flying all the way over here from just east of Melbourne, and we're stopped off at a whole bunch of places along the way performing displays like you're seeing today for lots of towns, because it's very rare that we get to come over and have the privilege of flying in Western Australia, so we thought we'd make the most of it. Of course, with the team we have a big support crew. We have a number of maintenance personnel, and leading the maintenance staff today is Corporal Dean Donahue. It's very hard to mistake him. He's pretty much the tallest guy in red at RAAF Base Pearce today. So make sure if you see any of our maintenance personnel, stop and say g'day, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to talk to you about the role of maintenance personnel in the Australian Air Force. At your right now, roulettes 5 and 6 are up to the usual tricks, coming in for the roulette mirror. Again, there are no illusions here. Roulette 5 is directly above roulette 6. And as 5 and 6 depart again, roulettes 1 through 4 are running in for the roulette corkscrew. With one now inverted, roulette 4 will fly barrel rolls around the rear of the formation. And as roulettes 1 through 4 depart the display area, roulettes 5 and 6 are up to their usual tricks, shortly turning on their smoke and pulling up for the roulette heart. Again, roulette 6 is in the difficult line of breast position, so he's looking directly over his left shoulder at roulette 5 as they pull up, pulling 5G before rolling away from each other, going completely blind and conducting the roulette heart. And ladies and gentlemen, please give roulettes 5 and 6 a round of applause. Another perfect heart. Well done, boys. And now roulettes 1 through 4 are pulling up for the roulette ripple rolls.
Go. 2, 3, 4.
So as you can hear, squadron leader Steve Baker, Roulette 1, is continually giving out timing cues, information position changes to the team. So in this show is rehearsed time and time again. He'll coordinate the exact movements for all 6 aircraft throughout the entire display, so he's working very hard and he's very busy today. So we have Roulette 5, squadron leader Matt Plenty, pulling up for his Roulette solar display. He starts his display with a vertical roll, pulling up and rolling the aircraft around the vertical axis before placing the aircraft into uncontrolled flight. So Matt's now completely lost all control of the aircraft and is relying on nothing but gravity and physics to make sure the aircraft does exactly what it needs to do. Now that he's regained control, he's going to demonstrate the turning capability of the PC-9 by inducing a force of 6 times the force of gravity. Again, he's working very hard, relying on his G-suit and pressure breathing to stop himself from blacking out in such a high G manoeuvre. Ladies and gentlemen, as Roulette 5 departs, please put your hand together and thank him for a wonderful solo display. And the show is by no means over. Roulettes 1 through 5, now pulling up for the card 5 loop and fly past. And as Roulettes 1 through 5 depart the display area, watch as Roulette 5 races to rejoin the rest of the team.